What happened out there? We're spending the day in the house today. Whoa, yeah, it's not nice outside. It's game time. We're gonna stay in the house today. We're gonna do some cool stuff. Oh, we got some Gran Turismo. So since most of us are all kind of like hiding from what's going on right now, I'm chilling with my puppy. And I figured what better time than introduce a new segment to the channel, which I've been thinking about for a while, which I've in fact been doing for like, would you stop? What I've been thinking about doing for, okay, we're gonna wait. Take two, let's try this again. She's nice and quiet now. You a good girl? Thinking about doing this for a while. You guys remember a video I did not long ago? I actually set up a driving rig. No further ado, anyway, welcome to my game room. Here, check this out. This is where I hang out with my pup. It's a total mess right now because we're still renovating the house, but you know, you get the idea. The TV, the games and stuff, the rig. Got the PS4, the PS3 mounted on the wall. The Wii used to be up on there. The Xbox is now in the living room, and a little bit of PlayStation VR. So anyways, this keeps me busy, and this is gonna keep me busy for a while now. Project 253. It's all about building things up. It's all about chasing the dream. It's all about getting better at what we want to do. Given the circumstances, I don't think I'm going to get a lot of track time this early spring. We're going to be all right. I want to brush up my driving technique, and the only way I can do that right now is with this. This is really, besides the seat, which I just had, and the steering wheel, which I had, very budget built. So let me break this one down for you. Because I'm on a crazy budget, this is the option, because we have this and this, and it works all together. This is a Logitech G27 with the clutch pedal and manual gearbox. It only works on the PS3, unfortunately. PS4 and Xbox One, I have to get some sort of adapter. Not gonna work out. The Sparko seat I had in the garage. You don't need to set this up. But if you're looking to get some sort of setup like this to keep you busy during this time, it's not so bad. You can probably find that steering wheel set in the G27 on Amazon, eBay, something like that, for probably around the $200 mark, which is not terrible. Hopefully somebody will ship it to you. And well, the PS3, that's old school stuff now. You can grab one of those easy under $100. And Gran Turismo, it's like one of those things where like sports games often end up really cheap. So I'm sure you can get GT6 uber cheap right now. And because they no longer have the online support and all that gaming stuff that you can do online, well, it's gonna get a lot cheaper. So that's the setup. Let's get into this brand new segment. I think we'll call it So to get things started, the idea behind simulation driving is to have it as close as you possibly can. The problem with this is you don't sense any sort of G-force or any sort of movement. The only movement you get is visually in the screen and a little bit of a tug on the steering wheel. The force feedback is pretty good on this. I'm pretty happy with it. With the bigger steering wheel, it slows down the force feedback a little bit, makes it not as strong. At the same time, it gives you more of a realistic feel, because I found myself with the original Logitech steering wheel, which was much smaller, I would miss it. I would reach for it real quick and I would just miss the steering wheel completely, and that's not cool. I want it to feel as realistic as possible. So the seat, everything is set up as close as I could get it dimension wise to my car. I run a big dish steering wheel in the RX-7 and a spacer. With this setup, like right there, it's pretty close, and the shifter is pretty close to the same spot too, mounted on the left of the wheel, just like my right hand drive RX-7 is. So that's going to keep me kind of in the flow of things, keep me like motor wise, motion, repetitive movement, get really used to that shifter in the left hand. That's going to keep me fresh. So if I do this daily, it should work out. And of course, I had to set up the car just like the actual car. Even got the same mags on it. Now what I did here was I made the power a little bit higher than what my car actually runs, because in the Gran Turismo series they run off of the flywheel power kind of thing, so you have to do the math. And if I'm correct, I've read up and I believe that 14 to 15% power loss through the drivetrain is pretty accurate. So I went with that. I boosted up the power to match it to the specs of my RX-7. So many options, you can do so many things. So one of the things I did was I put an LSD in the car and totally locked it up, because, well, if you guys have been following, you all know that my RX-7 has a welded diff in it. So that sucker is locked all the time. I did the same thing on here. Another thing that you're able to do is complete suspension adjustments. So spring rates and stuff as close as I could to my car, and also the alignment. Now the alignment's kind of whacked in my car because it's a little like, who knows what happened to it before that, but set up the car in the game the very best I could to be as close as it could. Oh, you doing that again? As close as I could to my actual car, and this is what happened. This is what came out. So as a part of the daily training, I've been doing physical training for a few months now. Got the stuff all on the floor that's just like, this is I come in here every morning and I do a home workout kind of thing. And I've been driving on the simulator for about 3 months as well. Maybe a little less than that probably, but not every day. I miss a few days here and there. And in fact, I haven't driven for at least a week now. I'm about to settle myself in and do some laps on the drift track. I'm gonna go for I try to drive for about 20 minutes minimum. So I'm gonna settle in, do a bunch of laps on that. While I'm doing that, I will show you guys some previous replays and stuff. Walk you through them. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Driving Simulator Sunday. This first run was recorded on January 28th of 2020. It was an earlier run. I'd been driving on the simulator for about a week, on and off, 3 days a week, roughly 4 days. Here you see me fumble into the corner. That's off of the third gear exit. The idea is to rotate enough to shift it down into second and keep the slide going. The problem is there, I think I let off the gas too much, the back end hooked up. That transition was pretty smooth. That part is a little tricky. You really have to go wide in second gear. This track is mostly second gear, and here it's all a balance game between steering and throttle. The trickiest part about the RX-7 is balancing the throttle and the input. It's a rotary with not a lot of torque. That makes for a few issues. This next run, recorded February 5th, 2020. The third gear entry, very smooth, wide radius. Could have went a little out to the outside a bit more. Transitioning to the second gear was a little bit choppy. I didn't come in steep enough. I had to cover. This part here looked a little dicey too, but I made the apex on that corner, as you can see at the very end there. Going through this hairpin, decent angle, decent momentum. Playing the game of catch and release, flicking back and forth. This last little curve, you have to give it a little bit more, go a bit quicker. Here I came in shallow, pretty sloppy. February 19th, 2020. Flying in third gear entry, good angle, filling the outer zone, bringing it back in. A little off that clipping point, and a little too much on this one. Transition was good, flips over to the next. Everything so far so good, except for this fumble right here. Straightening out, not being on the gas enough. It's all about that balance once again. Here going out to the outer line, slowed down a little bit too much, but got the nice apex on that hairpin. Here in the juggling game, business as usual. In that part, that was sloppy, but I started figuring out how to use all the lines. February 27th of 2020. Coming in real fast, a little shallow, really shallow, but still fast. Getting all the inside clipping zones, none of the outside ones. Cutting it real close, the flick over, still on the inside, but able to drag that second gear out, get it right around to the apex of the next corner. There I grabbed a little bit more momentum, slowing it down a little bit too much, but very nice angle. Here in the juggling game, a little sloppy on the entry. Oh, even sloppier on the entry of that one, but overall pretty smooth getting out of it. And this, the final run, recorded March 9th of 2020, which is almost a month as of now, is the most recent one. Coming in, good momentum, good angle, keeping it going, keeping it flowing, keeping it steady. The switchback, pretty clean, nice on the inside. Straighten out a little bit it seemed, but keeping the drift going, keeping it sideways. The flick on that one was pretty decent, but slowed down way too much at the entry. You can see where I straightened out. Here a little back and forth, not grabbing a lot of angle at the beginning of that one, but exiting pretty smooth. And that's what I've been doing so far. So now the RX-7 is a balancing game between steering inputs and throttle inputs. Every little bit makes the biggest difference, and that's what you have to deal with every lap, learning step by step. Now I'm going to start changing stuff up a little bit too, where I'm going to not only just drifting, I've been drifting on one track because I feel that it's important to have like your home course where you're driving and stuff like that. to really test things out and a track to know. So I found a track that's as close as it can get to like local tracks that we run, which are pretty small, second, third gear kind of style. And I've been running that non-stop. So what we're gonna do in this show, in these episodes, is I'll run my regular drifting constantly, and then we'll throw in something else on the side to kind of freshen stuff up, either go drift to another track for a few days in between or something, or even do some actual racing, because the important thing is to actually be a good driver too, not just a good drifter, but a fast driver. So I have a couple races that I've picked out that I would like to do. I would like to beat in cars that are, it's gonna be a challenge. So I'm gonna have to practice the course, learn the course, figure it all out, and try to beat this thing. Gran Turismo doesn't let you qualify, so I'm gonna have to just start from the back of the pack the whole time. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be interesting, it's gonna be progression, and hopefully it makes me a better driver. So stick along for the ride. Welcome to 253 Sunday Drive. So that's going to be the new part of our show. Every Sunday. Simulation Sunday. The Sunday Drive. Sunday Driver, Sunday Driving. I don't know. Something like that. What does it say on the screen? That's how you know. We're going to use that car. We're going to use the RX-7 tuned to the specs of my RX-7 right now, the way it is. Get some progress. We're going to keep moving forward. This video was all about drift. In time for the next one, I'm going to figure out a game plan, some sort of path to take of certain other races to race in. And then we'll see if we can't crank it up and turn myself into a decent driver on this. And if all goes well, that'll translate to real driving once we get there. And we're gonna get there. So stay happy, everybody. Stay positive. Help everybody out. Be nice, be kind, be friendly to your neighbors. It's all about love, baby. That's how we're gonna make it through this. So peace out. Stay happy. We'll see you soon.